here we go again. Buckle up. Is there any road left? Is this the end of the road for the planet?
You are listening to the Law Enforcement Pirate Radio Network. Radio Free Larry presiding.
You can run, but you can't hide.
Radio Free Larry.
All right, here we go. So I was in the Marshall Service. I was on a detail in New York for Judge Duffy. And there was this apparently Italian piece of shit. Probably had a great career, made a lot of money. He probably worked for the mafia throughout his life. Called it something else. So I before I go out, I admit it was before I knew I was that psychic. But Judge Duffy had these neighbors. I forget how I said it, but they pinged, they pinged mafia. And again, subsequent to that, there was arrested for working for a deputy. They tried blaming me. And they're all sickos, man. They all got their own personal bullshit that they're bringing into work. They use some of the women to be a whore around me, try to attract me like Jezebel and Delilah. All the big bosses are cursing it. Little girl and all the people back in Maryland make their phone calls. That's why Rick Henry, that's why Workman had told him in New York. I know there was other things going on, but they told him they made phone calls to him to do work. So he no longer went to New York. So that was set up by those pieces of shit from Baltimore. What actually, I was hated once on a detail. I can't remember how it all came out. But it's because I was from Baltimore, and then they it's kind of like you're not like the other people from Baltimore. You're okay. Played also. Yeah, he was Santa, which is software. CIA gold bar and untraceable cash. But I just connected into the mind meld. So getting them down restored this thought. So I did post that is a real, that it's real and it's a false statement. Let me see if I can load this up. No, there's evidence that certain people have made certain statements. It's their free speech to say it, but they've essentially denounced their oath, so they can no longer serve. And may not. It appears they may not have been truthful. It's not a joke. You can't serve the government of the United States if you're anti-constitution. No, they told us they would. If their goal is to overthrow the Constitution, and that's being anti-constitutional. It's there. I just can't alert. I use stuff recently. Sounds like fun. Make sure it's downloaded. What I'll have to do is I'll have to upload it. Or not upload, I'll have to edit it. I think they insert some sort of code. It's downloading. They use AI. They cheat. They've cheated for years. Microsoft on the move. Before, after, But you can't. Yeah, it's disruption. Disrupting. What they're saying is they're trying to. We're disrupting a pedophile, but it's the bullshit cover. They never just disrupt. Generally. But see, that's what their stuff does. They do it enough where you think it's them the whole time. But again, it's just to make you think, oh, maybe it's not true, but of course it is. All right. So if they speak against the Constitution and there's a desire to replace the Constitution, then they have no business serving in the government. Because you can't effectuate your role. You're disqualified. So much for the anti-constitution. Keep track of who's denouncing the Constitution right now. I guess Hassan Piker has El Sayad. If El Sayad is made statements against the Constitution, then somebody needs to take him to court and say he's unqualified. Anybody that's made a statement against the U.S. Constitution that is in office where they've taken an oath to the U.S. Constitution, you have to take them to court to disqualify and say they're disqualified. They can be impeached, though. But again, you don't take them. They're not qualified. Stay peaceful, praise God.